Hello. How's everybody doing? Thank you for joining us for Book Party. Very excited to be here today with our guests that will be coming in shortly. I see one of them in the chat already. I am in a different location today. I am in California. I'm typically in New York. So I'm just hanging out with some friends, and I'm excited to get this book party started. If you're in the chat, let me know where you're coming from, and I will get our authors into our video today. Just gonna add them. A lot of you guys keep requesting to join, and yet I'm so sorry. I am gonna see if we can get everyone on at the right time. Ooh, I got two of you guys. Hello, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey,
Hello. I'm Connie. If you guys haven't seen me before on Scholastic, I run our social media, and I have with me two exciting guests. We're waiting for Tom to come in, but we have Jess and Joey. How you guys doing today?
go ahead, Joey.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So this is our book party. We want to celebrate you guys who have new books out today. Very exciting. So I'm going to start with you guys telling us what your book is about. Joey, do you want to start?
Sure. My book is called, let's see, I have it here.
Yeah,
Uh,
you gotta
yes.
show us.
Yeah. My book is Grumpy Unicorn Saves the World, and that's Grumpy Unicorn. It is about a grumpy unicorn, and he has to save the world from a robot uprising.
Oof. I mean, that's really relevant, isn't it? It might be what we need
Yeah.
as we move forward, because, they're making some robots do some very scary things these days, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Scary and cool, but mostly kind of scary.
Well,
Exactly.
you're not a psychic, but we always have the unicorn to save the day, so that's good.
Exactly.
Hopefully,
Exactly.
right?
And how about you, Jess? What is your series about? 'Cause you
Yeah,
have
so
a few.
latest, I'm gonna make sure, there you go. This is Bun Bun and Bon Bon, and this is called Captain Bun and Super Bon Bon, and it is
So
the
cute.
third in the series. And it is basically about these two adorably sweet friends who decide one day that, you know what, they would like to try to be superheroes, but they aren't really sure
Oh,
how to do that, as we all want to be superheroes sometimes, right? So they aren't really sure how to do that, and they realize that they have to dig a little deep to find their own real superhero powers. And in this book, I'm very excited because we actually have a brand new friend that I want.
yes.
Introducing a new friend. There's our buddy. I won't reveal too much, but they help out this brand new friend, and they have to dig. They have to find their brave on the inside and save the day, including help out their new friend in the process. So I'm very excited about this one, and it has one of my favorite things I've ever drawn in my life. If you want to see it,
Of course
of
we
course,
do.
of course you do. Let me find it here for you. This picture is honestly probably my very, very favorite that I have ever
It's
drawn.
so funny. I think if it were written by someone in Gen Z, a TikToker, it would say yeet.
Yeah, I am not nearly that cool, but yeah, for that.
No, you're totally cool. Totally cool. So yeah, both of you have written these awesome new books. Actually, they're all under graphics, our graphic novel
Yeah.
imprint, which is very exciting. Let's start with Joey.
Yeah.
Why is your unicorn so grumpy?
That is a question my children ask me all the time. It's a little autobiographical, as my wife would say that I'm the grumpy unicorn a little bit. Well, in this book in particular, it starts off with his house is a mess, and that of course makes him grumpy.
Mhm.
And he also
That makes
doesn't
me
want to
grumpy.
he doesn't want to clean it,
Same.
and I don't blame him. And so he decides to order a cleaning robot off the internet, and the robot comes to his house and makes everything a lot worse, which makes him grumpier. So he's just grumpy.
Going through a lot, you know.
Yeah, he's going through a lot,
I
like
get
we all
it.
have.
I get it. I can't clean my apartment either.
No.
Both of you have written books for like younger readers. Is there like a particular reason that you were called and felt like these stories were made for younger audiences? Yeah, start with Jess.
Oh gosh. I know that the like perennial advice is to like write for your audience, right? Like, oh, think of who you're writing for and write for them. I actually don't do that. I write for me. I'm a very selfish writer. First and foremost, I want to tell the stories that I really want to, that make me excited, that make me laugh. And I think the reason that what I love to write so often translates into something for younger readers is just because that time of life to me, like when you are, this age, when you're reading this kind of adventurous fantasy, all this amazing stuff, have so much spirit inside of you. And I think that it's such an incredible, incredible time in your life. And I mean, when you think back, if I were to ask all of you your favorite books, you would likely name something from your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
They're so, so meaningful. So I think that's why most of my stories are for that age group.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm seeing. Oh, there we go. I was seeing a little rainbow wheel of loading, but we have Tom here. How's it going, Tom? Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry with whatever technical difficulties we've been
Hey,
having.
how are you?
Good. Where?
I apologize.
No problem. Where are you coming in from?
I apologize. We've had some trouble here in New Mouse City with the internet. You know how it is. I think the cat's got a hold of some of the wires.
How
It's been
dare
trouble.
they?
So sorry I'm
So
late,
rude.
but I'm glad I made it. Hi to everybody that joined us.
Yes, we have Tom Engelberger here, who works on with our friend Geronimo Stilton and the Great Rat Rally, another graphics younger audience book. So why don't you tell us what that's about, Tom? Now that we've got you in here.
Oh, is it my turn already?
Sorry.
Well, great. Well, so I don't have the book yet. I haven't seen it, but it is about a race all the way across Mouse Island. And of course, if you know anything about Geronimo, you know all about Mouse Island. It starts in New Mouse City, goes through all the craziest places, and all the craziest possible things happen along the way. And the one thing I can promise you is that Geronimo's suit is going to get messed up. At least
once.
Maybe more. And I'll probably say moldy mozzarella at least once.
There's lots of cheese puns, and they are hilarious. And I've learned about so many different cheeses. So
Me too. Right? I never knew there were so many kinds of cheeses.
It's basically a nonfiction book about cheese, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, Geronimo is writing it himself, so it is a true narrative. And he is making sure that along with the story that he is telling about what's happening in his life, that we're aware of the cheeses in the world. Let's see. Joey, let's go back to you.
Sure.
Since your books are about like this very specific emotion, does Grumpy Unicorn have other emotions? What is it to write about this very like kind of complex emotion for kids, like younger kids? Like that's a tough emotion to have sometimes, right?
It is. And a lot of people, myself included, sometimes when you're kids, or when kids are, they're complex human beings, and they have a whole range of emotions, and you don't always have to be happy all the time. And of course, there's a lot of things in life that make us all grumpy, and kids specifically, they're dealing with a lot of different things these days, and I think it's good to highlight that, sometimes it's okay to be grumpy, and it's a fun dynamic to write about.
Human beings, and they have, a whole range of emotions.
Because kids, they a lot of the times they're generally happy. Sometimes they're not, and I have two children, and
Mm-hmm.
they kind of are so different. One is very happy all the time. One's happy generally, but also he can be a bit grumpy, and And so it's been fun kind of drawing on their personalities to kind of put into the character as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So your kids have, there's a little bit of your kids in our friend Grumpy Unicorn.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they your like beta readers? Do they, give you
Yes.
lots of input in the story?
Yeah, and kids are pretty brutally honest. So
Even especially when they're your kids.
especially when they're your kids, which is really helpful sometimes, because they'll just tell you, "Oh, that's not very funny," or "I don't like that." But
Well,
no,
you
they
have a
were
good-
really helpful. They right away they really were into the character, and they really liked sitting on my lap while I would work on it, and they'd watch me write and draw. And
How old are they?
6 and 4.
Nice. So
Yeah.
the perfect audience for the
Perfect
series,
audience.
right?
Yeah. It's really
Good.
fun. It's been really fun, kind of experiencing the books with them at the age they are. They're
Yeah.
sort of right there for that sweet spot of just learning. My 6-year-old is just learning to read. He just started first grade a couple of weeks ago, and so kind of reading those at bedtime or along with a lot of other books are really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have someone in the chat, Kanchikari, 46, wants to know how, and this is for all of you guys, how do you motivate young audiences to read when, the main distraction that a lot of kids have is, social media, or, even for younger audiences, like there's YouTube, there's videos, there's Roblox, like, how do you guys, I guess, use your stories to combat those just other distractions? Like, is there anything you guys have experienced with that?
Well, I would say start for sure with graphic novels. And I'm not just because if they're on YouTube, that's visual, right? If they're on Instagram or something, that's visual. So they've already got that there. But really, I think the best advice is to start with the interest, because we're in such an amazing time now where it doesn't matter what your students are interested in. There will be books about that subject, and there will likely be really amazing books in, graphic novels or nonfiction. Like, allow the interest the way, and then go from there. So let them. And I see a puppy now.
I know.
There's a puppy on the
We all
screen.
got distracted a little bit. Like, wait, there's a puppy.
I did not invite him up. He just came up. He wanted to see you guys.
Precious.
Oh.
Yeah. Does anyone
Sorry,
else?
I was just gonna say, for us, my kids, of course, enjoy all of those things. They enjoy, watching some YouTube videos. They enjoy watching cartoons. They love playing video games. And those are all things that I love as well. And those are all things that we can share together. So a part of that sharing is also reading. My wife and I are big readers. We love to read, and modeling that for our kids, I think, has been a helpful thing for them to see, like us reading books, talking about them, and then reading with them. Anything you can do with your kids, I think, well, it's time well spent. They enjoy it, you enjoy it, and so thankfully for us, it hasn't been a huge challenge. Sometimes, kids want to get distracted and they want to go play, Mario or something, and they'll jump off. But we've had a real fun time encouraging our kids to be readers and trying to model it as best as possible in ourselves. But that's never as easy as we hope.
Yeah,
that's a good point, because so often, like, you'll see the adults like with their phones, and it's like, how do we get kids to read? And it's like,
I wonder.
Right.
This is very, very true. Gustafson 68 said, our teachers and school librarians are inspiring. The art teacher can also motivate kids to read. Our art teacher has books featured in the art room, so that's another way, and relates to mixing the different subjects, like art and reading. Usually when you're in school are so separated, and so graphic novels are the perfect mixture of both of those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing is, one of the great things is kids can read them and they can write and draw them themselves. I think that's one of the great things about a lot of the graphics books is they don't look like something that Michelangelo drew. They look like something that a real person drew. And I think that's a great thing, is for kids to be able to, that's an experience they cannot get on YouTube or Instagram, is creating their own graphic novel and telling their own story. It's a great thing. And art teachers are a fantastic part of that, especially when they encourage kids to turn in. I used to always try to get away with turning in a project to my art teacher and to another teacher, like a history report or a science report would be. I draw it as a comic, and I would try to get credit in both classes.
That's actually really brilliant.
Really resourceful. I like that.
Yeah. We have a guest. What is our guest's name? Since he wanted to join the show, our puppy friend.
Oh, this
Yes.
this puppy here. This puppy's name is Esso, named after the old gas stations.
What an adorable friend we have here.
I apologize for him barging in like that. He normally does not do it, but for some reason, one of you must sound really good to him. So he came up to check.
There is no apologies for dogs on Zooms, on Instagram Lives, on YouTube Lives. Like, don't worry about it.
It is, I think.
Seems to be a very calm and relaxing puppy, so no interruptions. Actually, I was going to ask, because all of your novels are about animals, whether mythological or not. What is there anything that like drew you guys to animal stories versus people stories? Like, why is Grumpy Unicorn a unicorn and not another animal or an actual kid?
Right. So for Grumpy Unicorn's case, the idea for the character was that like unicorns are always seen as being just so happy and colorful and loving everything and rainbows and cupcakes, and so the idea of making that not all of that was really fun. That's why Grumpy Unicorn is a unicorn. For me, I love animals. I feel like they're a great representation of people, and kids love animals, and it feels like they could be more drawn to animal characters. Maybe find a way to relate to them more in some ways than people characters sometimes, and they're more fun to draw.
True. Jess, your bio says you're a zoologist.
Yeah, it's
correct.
Right. You mentioned animals, like that's why.
Yeah.
Always been kind of the lens through which I see the world. Like when I was 2 years old, I was relating more to animals than people. And when you're younger, that kind of makes you feel weird. But when you're older, you realize that's a superpower, I think. So yeah, pretty much all of my books have either heavy animals in them, like lots of animal content, or science content. So the reason I chose Bun Bun was because of all bunnies. Like,
I love bunnies.
Yeah, everybody needs bunnies in their lives, but I actually had an imaginary named Bun Bun when I was younger, who would sit on my shoulder, kind of like the angel and the devil. Like sometimes Bun Bun would have good suggestions and sometimes not so good suggestions. But that was why I got, to the age I am now, and I was like, I think it's finally time to tell Bun Bun's story. So I just for Bun Bun, and of course it had to be. I was going in my head like saying, okay, maybe it could be an elephant friend or like a giraffe or some other creature. But then I was in a grocery store and there was this bag of candy and it just said fancy bonbons. And I was like, it has to be a talking candy.
I mean, we love the alliteration here.
Yeah,
say it 5 times fast. It's a fun thing to trip over. That actually relates to Mana Lolly in the chat that asks, how did you decide on what to write? Was it a connection to your childhood? And yours is literally your imaginary friend. That's amazing. Do either of you, Tom or Joey, have like a childhood connection to your stories?
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, I don't connection because Geronimo wasn't around when I was a kid.
Yeah, we may need you to start that one over again. You got broken up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Can you hear me now? Geronimo wasn't around when I was a child, but I found him through the audiobooks as an adult, and I love listening to the audiobooks that were narrated by the actor Edward Herman. And I love those audiobooks. And so then I started reading the actual books. And then I asked Scholastic if I could write one of those books. And they didn't let me do that, but they let me draw it. And so that's how I got to this. So I have a real connection to Geronimo. And additionally, he and I are both reporters. You know, I used to be a newspaper reporter, and he still is a newspaper reporter. So I do have a lot of connections to Geronimo.
And did you always outfit, Tom?
Say it again, Jess.
Did you always have the outfit to go with it, Tom?
Oh, right. Yes, I
just had it laying.
No, I had to track down a green, the perfect green suit.
Love it.
Nicely done. Honestly.
I feel so underdressed. I should have put a tie on.
No. I'm wearing sweatpants.
Oh, great.
So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anything for you, Joey? I mean, you're relating it to you know your emotions as you know yourself and your kids. Were you a grumpy child?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sure.
Just a little quiet. I was always a quiet kid. The books, that I write, I don't necessarily tie them to my childhood, but I'm a pretty nostalgic person, so I'm always kind of thinking back towards my childhood. And so I'm sure a lot of that is influences what I create today. Nothing in particular that I could draw on that I'd say like, yeah, this could easily point back to this. But I mean, I've always been into robots and
you want to protect the world from them.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes.
Jess, to go back to your zoologist roots, does that affect your drawing of animals or how you see other animals in other stories because you know how they're supposed to look? Like, do you have like that like weird like dichotomy in your head like it needs a horn there or something?
Yeah. So you're asking, first of all, I don't judge the way other people draw animals because I recognize like it does not all need
hard.
It's very hard, right? But when I was actually first getting it, like I've always been an artist, like quietly. And before I became like a graphic novelist, I was writing novels and picture books, and I wasn't doing the art. And when I started to incorporate that more into my professional life, I actually had this really weird time frame where I had to learn how to turn off the more technical, precise type of drawing because I was used to drawing from life, you know, in classes and trying to, you know, anatomical drawings.
Right. Really
scientific type, you know, amazing fun stuff, but it is not what you want when you're doing a book like this.
Right. Yeah. Not with Bun Bun and Bon Bon, no.
Exactly. Like I had to flip into another part of my brain where I just kept simplifying and simplifying and simplifying. And like some of the early iterations of Bon Bon were just not ready for public consumption. Like it wasn't right. Like there was no joy in it. And I had to keep reminding myself, like, this is not something that's going to be in a scientific textbook.
Yeah, it's not going to be graded.
Well, yeah. And like Tom said, I wanted it to be something that kids could look at. Like everybody can draw, you know, the circle and the two blobs for the ears, or anybody can draw Bon Bon.
Anyone can draw Bon Bon.
Yeah, anybody can draw Bon Bon. So I had to really work hard to sort of turn off that kind of more nerdy scientist side of my head, but I absolutely do not judge any other artists because we need the fun art too.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. So your books came out, they're out in the world because it's a book birthday party. Imagine you're blowing out a candle on a cake. What do you wish upon your book as it is now out in the world? Let's start with Joey.
Ooh, what do I wish for my book? I think with all of the books that I make, my wish for it is that some kid somewhere finds it and falls in love with it, and it's their first book that they love.
Yeah.
Simple
amazing.
Wish. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great wish. Tom?
I guess I'm always hoping that readers have as much fun reading it as I did drawing it. Because I didn't write the story, I just drew it. And so I'm I'm experiencing the story too. So I hope they enjoy it as much as I
that's
did.
a really great way to think about it. You're also like reading and consuming the story, and other kids can also read it and decide how they want to express the story as well. It's really great. And how about you, Jess?
So, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I think my wish is, millions and millions of readers for all of them, right? Because I
That would be
think,
great.
that's a simple thing, right?
It's a wish.
It's a wish. I think that for all of our books, our goal is to make, readers feel included and joyful and happy, and able to express the full range of what they feel, whether it's grumpiness or being excited and happy and scared and brave, all these things. So I think the more kids we can reach, the more that the vibe of the world will be lifted up, and the more we learn that reading can give you such an impact like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Any last thoughts, you guys? Your books are out. We're very excited. Are any of you well, I guess you're not first-time authors. So did you get like any experience? Like, did someone call you? Like, how do you see your book in the world? Like, someone texted you like a picture of the book in a bookstore. Like, do you have any stories about your book being out yesterday?
Go ahead, Jen. Somebody's got to have something.
Even if it's not a new book, your friends calling you up like, I see your third one on the shelves.
I was sent a couple of videos of like moms with the camera watching their kids open the mail.
Ooh.
So that was, pre-ordered this one, so they were opening the envelope and they're like,
nice.
What's that? They would pull it in like that face of joy. Like nothing beats that feeling when like you get a fresh book. So
yeah,
that was really exciting. It doesn't matter if it's the first book or the 100th book that we have out, I think.
exactly.
I always love getting, I recently got a couple of pictures of kids reading my book, which always just makes me so happy to see kids enjoying it and see what page they're on and but what I really love is fan art. I've gotten a few fan art drawings of Grumpy, and that makes me so happy.
Graphic novels do like lead to that like natural impulse of kids wanting to like draw the characters and then maybe send them to you guys. That's awesome.
Which we are always grateful for.
Always.
Send us your fan art.
Yeah, for sure.
Cute. All right. If there are no other last thoughts,
just thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
This was great. You guys
thanks everybody for tuning in.
So, exciting people with such colorful books about animals who are trying to do good things in the world. So thank you guys for your books and putting them out in the world. And thank you for joining Book Party. I'm Connie. I'm the Scholastic Social Media Manager, and we will see you guys next month. Thank you, 3.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you.